I guess my hot take would be I know you really haven't gotten through all these,
Yeah.
but it is a more of a hot take. I think uh, Batman Arkham Knight. I think it's the greatest superhero game. Period. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the ATG Podcast. This is
What?
episode 8. I'm just going to ignore you now. I'm just going to start ignoring that intro.
Yeah.
Today, we got a
Even this time
lot
though.
of stuff going on. We're doing a little bit of a different episode. Normally we have like a lot of points to get through. Like normally we do episodes, it's just me and Natty. Well, like when we did the DC episode, we went through every project, and when we did the Marvel episode, we went through everything. We're not doing that this time.
Throwing it
We're
out the window.
we're kind of going a little more unscripted this time, kind of similar to what we do with the guest episodes. We have a couple ideas, but nothing like concrete written down, and no lists really today. So it's definitely going to be an interesting episode. That's for sure. How are you
Yeah.
doing, Natty?
I'm doing great. How are you doing, Mr. Titanium Zombie?
I'm great. Do you want to just hop right into the game, or do we got
We
to do
have
the news thing first?
news.
Right,
News. Yeah, what's
right.
new?
Oh,
We
right.
haven't done that in a while.
I forgot about it. That's right.
Yeah. We
That was
typically
completely on
don't do
accident. That
that.
was
Yeah. We typically don't do those on the guest episodes.
yeah,
We actually tried doing it on the Philly episode, but it really didn't fit in.
yeah.
So we're not doing them anymore on them. But I still like it. It's still a
Yeah, yeah.
fun
We'll
thing to
do them
do
with
when
the
it's
episodes.
just the
It's
two of
just
us.
it's just me and you. So
Yeah.
what do you got for your new news? New news. We gotta
So
find a
my
better name
new
for that.
news is actually like not that new. It's like 2 months old.
What
But
the?
I haven't talked about it on here, and I don't know if you know about it. And I just think it'd be an interesting thing. So you know the Hive. You're a big Hive
Yeah, a
YouTuber.
big Hive YouTuber made tons of Hive videos.
Yeah, yeah, Mr. Hive, the Woad of Hive
Yep.
himself. Well, Hive, I can't say just announced, but like, 2 months ago, they announced they're having a new featured server, that's like a Skyblock, multiplayer kind of thing.
Oh, I
I
think I
think
did
kind of
hear
like,
about this. I think I did hear about this.
yeah,
Like
it's
I heard
called
about it on.
Project MMO at the moment. But
Okay, I
yeah,
didn't know about the name or anything like that, but I heard that they were working on a Skyblock, and then I thought that meant like it was already out on the Hive, so I hopped on to go see what it was like, and it wasn't there, and I was like, oh, so
you're
I
like,
was I was
boo.
lied to. What the?
But yeah, it's a whole nother server.
That makes more
Says they're
sense.
coming this year.
That's cool.
But it's interesting. They'll have like custom things. They already got a whole lot. I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
It's interesting
Um,
because how the Hive was originally from Java Edition, and when it moved, because this will be
yeah,
on Bedrock, right? I assume.
yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah,
they've completely moved over to Bedrock and have clearly done well enough that they can
yeah. I
support
mean,
two
they shut
servers.
down the Java server like
Yeah,
a
I
few
know, I
years
know, I
ago.
know. But that's what I mean. Like they've completely moved to Bedrock now, and they're clearly doing well enough that they can start a second server.
Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
mean,
yeah,
it's like the Bedrock server. I
yeah.
mean, you kind of got CubeCraft and Galaxite, but not nearly to the extent of Hive.
Yeah.
So
If you want to get a little bit of
intrigued to
insight
see where it goes.
on the Hive and how it works, go check out our last episode with Prime Strap. Just a bit of a
Hey,
self
because
plug
we
right
really
there.
went into depth
But not
there.
really, but we talked a little bit about Hive and stuff like that. So he
Still a good
knows
episode.
he's a great episode. Go check it out. I'm gonna give
I watched this one after. Go watch that one.
yeah
Okay,
whatever.
cool. All right. So
So
what's your
my new news, we kind of briefly I briefly mentioned this to you yesterday. It is the new Batman Arkham game that is coming out. This was announced. Some people probably already heard of this. This is all over my For You page, and there's a bit of controversy with this game. So as you probably know, as most people probably know, Rocksteady, the company that has typically made the Arkham games, just released Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, which
a great game?
I have my own opinions on. I have a whole video about it, so I'm not gonna talk about it on
Oh,
here.
dude, you're just like pointing to all your videos.
I'm just not gonna talk about it on here. I have my own opinions on that game.
No,
But it was
no.
recently announced that they are going to continue the Batman Arkham games and do another game with Batman, which is really interesting. And people are wondering how they're going to do that, especially now with the main voice actor, Kevin Conroy. He has passed away, so they're wondering how that's going to work and all that. But the main thing that's drawing controversy is that it is a VR game.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was unexpected.
Yeah, it's a VR game. They have made a Batman VR before, and it was not bad, but it was not great. So a lot of people are saying that like it just seems like Warner Brothers hates money. Like
Yeah.
they're like,
I
yeah, here's a
mean,
new Batman game,
That's kind of obvious.
but it's for VR, you know. But it's supposed to take
Yeah.
place within the time period between Arkham Knight and Suicide Squad Killer Justice League, which is a really interesting story. In my opinion, it's a really cool like point in time to place this game. But yeah, the fact that it's on VR is a little disappointing.
Well, all right.
Yeah,
You brought the game today.
I did bring the
right?
game. So today our game is Natty. You have a mission to survive the zombie apocalypse.
I'm dead.
No. So you have a budget of $10, and you have to choose.
Okay, not much.
No, you have a budget of $10, right?
Like
And
a
I'm gonna
big
give
man.
you 3 categories. I'm gonna give you 3 categories. You're gonna choose a weapon, a place to live, and a person you're gonna team with. And items are ranging between $5 and $1. The only rules are you have to buy 1 item from each thing, and you can only buy 1 item from each category.
Yep.
You can't choose 2. So try and maximize your money, and don't spend everything all in one place, because you don't get to know what comes next. And once you pick it, that's it.
Oh, okay.
You don't get to double back.
A little bit like blind ranking, yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So we'll start with the weapon category. So remember your budget is $10. For $5 you get the Iron Man armor, specifically the Mark 42 from Iron Man 3. Okay.
Yep.
$4 you get a lightsaber. $3 you get the ray gun from Call of Duty Black Ops. For $2 you get a crowbar, just a regular old crowbar.
Yeah.
And for $1 you get a hidden blade from Assassin's Creed.
For me, it's between the lightsaber or the ray gun. Because both have. I mean, the Iron Man suit's good, but you know.
Yeah, you can't, you don't have the power to like you'll have the arc rate, you'll have all the stuff in the suit, but like, can you charge it? You know what I mean? Like, what's gonna that gonna be like?
You know, an arc reactor rate kind of charges itself. Something,
Yeah,
but
if it gets damaged, you can't fix it, right? Like you're not Tony Stark.
Lightsaber would be. I think I'm gonna go ray gun.
Okay,
You have the range on it.
Yeah,
I think,
you just gotta worry about ammo.
If it's not broke, if it ain't broke.
You gotta worry about ammo with the ray gun, though.
Oh, is there ammo with?
There is ammo with the ray gun.
True. All right, you know what? I'll go lightsaber.
All right, we'll go lightsaber
Because it's cool. Even if
lightsaber
I die, I have a lightsaber.
for $4. So now you have $6 left.
I'm toast. Yep.
You got 2 categories left. All right, moving on to the base. For $5, you have the Watchtower from the Justice League. So that's the place in the sky or in space. For $4, we got the X-Men Mansion. For $3, you got the Batcave. For $2, you got the Breaking Bad RV. And for $1, you got the bus from BO2 Transit. Trust me, do not choose that one.
Nah, dude, I'm taking not the van, the what is it? The Breaking Bad.
The Breaking
RV,
Bad RV.
Man.
For $2, Breaking Bad RV. So that leaves you with $4.
Dude, keep you on the move. You can kind of like.
You can cook.
You
can
put
cook.
it up. You can cook, dude. Yeah. Look, it's not great, but it's not awful. All right.
Jeez.
You never said it had to stay that way. I could.
You could always move, yeah, but that's just your starter base.
Dig it out. Yeah.
All right, so the last one is your teammate. So this is someone you're going to be. This is the person who's going to keep you alive. This is the person who you're going to be teamed with for the entire apocalypse until you guys both die.
$1 Slader.
So you have $4. So you can't even buy the $5 one, but I'll tell you them anyway. For $5, you could have had Homelander. For $4, you can get.
Glad I don't.
For $4, you can get Paul Rudd. For $3, you get Jason Voorhees. For $2, you can get Rick Grimes. And for $1, you can get me.
Man. Look, you're a great guy.
Choose Paul Rudd, man.
You're a great guy. And I'm sure Rick Grimes would know his ways about.
Yeah. I think it's really
But Paul
between.
Rudd doesn't age.
But Paul Rudd doesn't age.
And he's Ant-Man. I mean, come on.
No. He's not. He's just Paul Rudd. He's just Paul Rudd.
Yeah, but he plays Ant-Man, and that's good enough for me. You know?
So you take Paul Rudd?
Yeah. Paul Rudd, easy.
How come when I put that one in there, I knew you were gonna choose it?
Second place would be you, of course.
Of course. I probably would have picked Rick personally, just because he just seems to know. To be fair, he does get a lot of people killed.
Yeah.
Never mind. Paul Rudd's the best pick.
Paul Rudd, baby.
And I'm glad you didn't choose the X-Men Mansion, because that place definitely would have blown up.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking like the space one would be cool, because you wouldn't.
You just be safe. Well, you just have to worry about food and stuff then.
Yeah.
All right, well that's your game. So you chose the lightsaber, the Breaking Bad RV, and you chose to live there with Paul Rudd.
Tight. All right.
Oh man.
So yeah, that's the game.
That's the game, everyone.
So today's episode is about hot takes.
Mm-hmm.
We got some hot takes maybe that we think are hot takes. I know TZ's brought some, I brought some, and we're just kind of gonna bring it up and then kind of somewhat debate over it, and kind of see, maybe we agree on some of them and maybe we don't, and we'll see how this goes. Do you want me to start with the hot take?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you go first, and I'll bring mine one after.
Yeah, I actually like the Phantom Menace. Jar Jar is not a bad character. In my opinion.
Okay. Why?
I get, Phantom Menace gets a lot of hate.
I agree.
And people are like, yeah. I think it's is it the greatest film of all time? No, but I think it's a fun movie. It doesn't take itself overly too seriously. It just, I don't know, it's all around a good time.
I think a lot of people have come around to those I think the prequels. One of mine was actually about the prequels as well, which is really funny. But I think you got to remember too, like, Star Wars is for kids, right?
Yeah.
So, of course, when those movies came,
What do you mean it's for kids?
Yeah, but like it is, right? Like it is, right? Like they sell Lego figures in the end of the day, right?
Legos are for kids. Man, this is a revelation for me. Anyway.
No, but like what I mean is that like when the OG fans watched the prequels, they thought it was really childish, right?
Yeah.
Which is fair because they were made for kids, right?
Yeah.
Even though Revenge of the Sith is one of the darkest movies in all of Star Wars, but that's besides the point. It's kind of something similar has now happened with the prequel fans are now going to watch the sequels, and they don't like them, and they're now speaking out about them. But in 5 or 10 or so years from now, like in 5 or 10 years from now, there's going to be a whole other generation of kids who are like, yeah, no, these movies were great. I like, they're going to be a whole different fan base, and like I might not like the sequels as much, but that's fine, right? Like that's I'm not going to hate on anyone who thinks that if
they're
Last Jedi is your favorite movie, like I might not disagree. I might disagree with you,
but
I might disagree with you, but you can have your opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, no, I think Phantom Menace is definitely it's an underrated movie. I think it's not the worst prequel in my opinion. But
yeah, it's definitely I don't know. I think it's just a fun time, and I think people project that sort of childish and kind of put it all on Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Like, if you did remove Jar Jar, the movie would be. But like, I think that's just the character of the movie.
Yeah.
Is that more?
What I didn't like is that they projected it on the actor, like he had anything to do with it. You know what I mean? Like
like on the Jar Jar actor and on the Anakin.
Yeah,
actor.
I think that was completely unfair.
Best and Jake Lloyd,
Yeah, that was completely unfair. Like they're just doing their jobs, guys.
Yeah. Blame Georgie.
There's a lot. Lucas. There's a lot of instances like that though, where fan bases are just too critical on some actors. When it's like, really, you can't blame. Hayden Christensen's another guy. That was one of my hot takes where I didn't think he did that bad of a job, and I thought he played Anakin great. So while we're on the topic of Star Wars, that's
wow. So that's your hot take.
I think he did a great job. I think he did a great Anakin. Now, do I think the Clone Wars version is better? Yeah, for that time period, because I think when he needs to be a whiny teenager, he's a whiny teenager, which is what he is. A lot of people forget about that. It's like, oh, he's all grown up. No, he's 18. And he was raised in solitude by a guy who's maybe 5-10 years older than him.
Yeah. No wonder, dude.
No wonder he's a little And he dreams about his mother every night dying, and the Jedi who swore to protect his mother said, "Nah, she's fine."
Yeah, she's chill. She was in fact not fine.
Yeah, she was in, and then he goes out there and she dies, and he's like, "Whoa, the Jedi." And he's gonna project it on that. Anyway, I don't want to get in a whole rant about Star Wars, but that's an episode for another day.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think he did a great job in Obi-Wan too. I love seeing the videos online of like how much hate he got back in the day, comparing it to now, right?
Yeah.
And I just hope he gets as many like returns as Anakin as possible, because I think he does such a great job. And
I mean, it's happened with like all of the prequel actors, including Jar Jar Binks. Like,
you got to come back as Kelleran Beck or Kelleran.
Yeah, and people, have a lot of. There's a lot of respect for the people who made the prequels.
Yeah, I think for a while, and especially with the sequel trilogy, I think there was not. Like the fact that none of them appeared in it was a little weird to me. You know what I mean? Like, I know they shot some stuff and they cut it, but I just feel like there should have been at least some sort of cameo, or like a Force ghost or something like that, right? I don't know.
J.J. Abrams really didn't like the prequels at all. He was a big prequel.
Yeah, and that goes to
to show. Yeah, I find it interesting how good Hayden Christensen is at like sword fighting and like
he's so good at that.
Dueling.
He's so good at that. Like, it's him and Ray Park.
Fully knew that until they had him, and wait a minute, this guy's really good.
This guy can duel.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Anyway, I can move on to mine though. Mine's also a movie related.
All right.
And I can see where I don't think you're gonna agree with this, but maybe you will. I don't think you're gonna fully disagree.
We kind of agreed on the Star Wars one.
My hot take is I personally like the Amazing Spider-Man duology more than the Sam Raimi trilogy.
Ooh, that is a hot take. That is in fact a hot take. Yeah. I'll give you that.
I personally listen. Now hold on. Do I think? Am I getting now? When people say, "Oh, I think they're better," do I disagree with them? No. Yes, I can see why people can like the Sam Raimi trilogy. It's not that I don't like those movies. There's just some of the elements of it stand out to me that is not as. And for me, I watched Amazing Spider-Man. Like, that was really the first movie I watched the Tobey Maguire ones, but that movie was new, right? So when I saw it, he became my Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
And I just love the visual style of Amazing Spider-Man 2 so much, and I think it's one of the best looking superhero movies, period. CGI wise, if you just removed Blue, if you just removed Jamie Foxx's, if you just swapped him out for what they did in No Way Home, that movie would be great. But even then, all the fight scenes, all the swinging scenes, everything to do with him and Gwen, the fact that she dies in that movie, everything just screams Spider-Man, and yeah, I like them more. Do I think they're better? Probably not, but I like them more.
I mean, all right, I get what you're saying. Them, I think they're solid movies. The second one especially gets overhated, but it falls into the same issue that like Spider-Man 3 has.
Yeah.
Where it just tries to juggle a little too much.
Just tries to do too much.
Yeah.
Once again, I'm glad Garfield got his return.
Yeah.
And Toby. I'm glad both of them get to come back in No Way Home.
I think like both of them have flawed movies in them and flawed parts.
Yep.
The Raimi movies and that.
Yeah.
And they explore different parts of the character.
Yes.
Somewhat. But,
Yes.
yeah. I mean the actors at least didn't feel as old as they were in the Raimi movies.
Yeah, that's true.
So who is your, like, what would you say is the best overall Spider-Man, like, trilogy duology, you know?
Overall, like my personal favorite, or
I mean, that's personal favorite, or what you think is, like, objectively.
objectively,
Like,
it's probably it's probably between Tom Holland and Toby.
yeah.
I think the Tom Holland ones get a lot of hate.
Yeah.
Mainly for him being Iron Boy Jr. But I think it's
Iron Boy Jr., yeah.
I think it's a little it's unwarranted. That's the way I'll put it. So I like a lot of his movies, but I mean, like, yeah, I can see my biggest problem with the Toby ones is just MJ. To be honest with you, it's just anything.
MJ's awful.
She's just I just every time. Anyway,
You get into a whole rant about MJ, about, like,
I could talk about this for 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're gonna have to have an episode about, like, just MJ hate, you know, because, like, she's such a bad girlfriend to Peter. She does come around.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh yeah, you're Spider-Man. Oh, but we can make it work. I ditched my boyfriend, my fiance on the altar.
Yeah, left him in the altar.
You.
Which, by the way, is the son of Peter's boss.
Yeah, but anyway, let's just say, okay, fine, you did that.
Like, what a way to get him fired.
You said you can make it work. Next movie, the entire time, you're with Harry instead of Peter, because I mean,
she's also
Peter
like,
wasn't in the right to kiss Gwen in that moment, but
and like I do like how in those movies they used the black suit as like him amplifying his already, because he already had an ego.
Yeah.
And he already had all those things, and then when he got the black suit, it was like almost became like an addiction, right?
Yeah.
Like I do like that, and I wish they'd gone into it.
You're right when you fix the staying door.
I wish they'd gone into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of moments. Like I think those movies are now just a little dated too with their writing and stuff like that. And Spider-Man 2 is a good movie.
Yeah.
It is the best out of the three.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bit wacky, but also like it kind of was it was that in the X-Men pretty much that were kind of pioneering.
I don't know, maybe I like the Amazing Spider-Mans more just because it doesn't have a lot of that too.
Yeah.
It's just maybe like the Tobey Maguire movies just remind me of Batman and Robin too much.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way, you know what I mean? But like the superhero styles, like the way that they are shooting it, they're comparable,
like,
right?
I could hear Goblin saying, "Nice to meet you, Spider-Man."
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense.
Or like after I throw these bombs, you're gonna be green. And he throws it, and he start making a bunch of goblin puns.
Yeah.
Like what the. Yo, if Joel Schumacher made Spider-Man.
I'd agree with that.
We can move on to if you want to give another one.
All right, yeah. I think that listening to albums from start to finish is a better listening experience for music than just having like all of your songs in a random playlist to bounce around, in my opinion.
That's fair. Yeah. I mean, when I listen to stuff, I don't typically listen to albums unless I hear that's a good whole album. That's just me.
Yeah. I mean, some albums are like meant to be listened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't break it up. But I get what you're saying. I just think like tonally, I think it depends on the album, because some albums pretty rough and just have like throw random stuff in there, sort of thing. And at that point, it doesn't really matter. But a lot of albums, they have like their own tones to it, their own kind of feel to it. and you really get what the artist is trying when you listen to the full album.
Yeah.
So typically when I'm listening to music, that's kind of where my go-to is,
Yeah.
rather than just a random playlist with everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess that probably, maybe that's a hot take. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it's
Yeah,
it's a normal take for music. Like I think
right.
especially if that's how you want. Like it all depends on how people consume music, right? Because
That's
some people
true.
don't even listen to it in like a random playlist. They'll just listen to it on the radio, right?
Yeah,
So like you never know, right?
just
Like
get the hits. Yeah, that's fair. Do you have another one, or?
I mean I only really had two. So if you want to just keep firing
Oh,
away, go ahead.
all right. I think McDonald's fries are not that good, and I think this
Fair
has been
enough.
a sentiment that people have
No, yeah,
slowly come over time. But
yeah,
like, if you go back like 5 or more years,
yep.
people would be like, "Yeah, they're the best, dude."
No, yeah.
Why,
They're
you
just
got to get them McDonald's fries, but they're just
kind of all right.
bland and
You
uninspired.
know what though?
There's so many
They're
of
not
them
as
there.
salty as Burger King though. Every Burger King I've gone to, it's like you're getting like, can I get some salt with a side of fries? It's
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know. Maybe it's
yeah.
just the one location. Maybe it's the other couple
Fair.
locations, but I don't know.
I would, yeah. McDonald's fries, as I said, yeah. What is your favorite fry?
Favorite fry? I mean, I'd
Yeah,
probably go with the Harvey's fry, but you don't know what that
no
is.
clue.
So
Like fast food. Is that
it's
a
hard.
fast food?
Yeah, yeah. It's yeah.
Okay, that's fair. I'm
That's
I'm
a
I'm
Canadian
a big
thing.
Wendy's
They're
fries
good too.
kind of
Yeah.
guy. Wendy's is probably my top fast food like place, I would say.
Mm,
Um, yeah, I think so.
okay.
Um, but yeah. All right. I guess do you come up with one, or do you want me to?
Just
I
keep
got one
firing
more on
away.
my list.
Fire one way. Fire it
All
away.
right. This one I don't know if necessarily is a thing, but a hot take, but it is somewhat divisive. I think social media is more harmful than good in the
Oh yeah.
good scheme of things.
I. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. I would. No. I think it definitely takes away from a lot of human interaction. As we're saying that, we're
Yeah.
doing a virtual podcast, but
I mean, I- there's a reason I said social media and not just the internet.
yeah.
Because I think like the internet can be and has been a very useful tool that's really grown things. I mean, you're able to interact with people and connect with people that you haven't been able to before,
Yeah.
and you can use that sort of connection. And I say this as a YouTuber and someone who is pretty much addicted. I'll admit it to all sorts of
Hmm.
things on like YouTube and that sort of side of it. Um, it's very much yeah, you're very much consumed in it, and it makes it hard for real interaction somewhat. I'm trying to get better at it, but it is a tricky thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I guess my hot take would be I know you really haven't gotten through all these,
yeah,
but it is a more of a hot take. I think uh, Batman Arkham Knight. I think it's the greatest superhero game. Period.
I mean, the thing is, yeah, I haven't been through them all yet.
I can see
I've
the
been through the
argument for the
Superman ones,
Spider-Man games. I can see the argument for the Spider-Man games. I can.
but
But I think and I'm not gonna. I don't like to use the excuse of well, it came before. Um,
but a game before,
but it
and it
did.
kind of set the whole ground of how those games were.
Everything you do in the Spider-Man games, they pretty much do in the Batman games, minus the
Yeah,
swinging.
yeah,
But they give you a tank car, and I mean that is pretty cool, in my
that
opinion.
is pretty cool.
In my
Yeah,
opinion.
that's fair.
Um. So yeah, I'll debate with people in the comments about that one, but yeah.
Yeah, the
For the
Arkham
story, the
games, I would
gameplay,
agree.
I like it more. I haven't played Spider-Man 2. I want to make that very clear. I've
Yeah,
watched it. I've watched Spider-Man 2. I have not played it. So go easy.
I don't have a PlayStation, so
Yeah, I haven't played Spider-Man 2. It's not out on Steam yet. So blame PlayStation and blame Sony. Don't blame me. I would buy it on PC, but I
Yeah.
played
I
Spider-Man.
blame you for not having a PS5, but
I don't want to spend $2,000.
it's only like 500. But yeah, I get your point. I say
Whatever.
only like 500 is.
If you asked like 2 years
a
ago,
lot
it
of it.
wouldn't be that.
That is true. Nowadays, yeah. So yeah, for sure. Why? I don't have any more anymore. Do you?
No, guess not.
Man, we should.
Unless
Maybe we should have
unless,
prepped a little bit more.
well, that's fine. Like,
I guess it's fine. Yeah, I didn't want to.
I mean, like
a
a final hot take we could do.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna piss you off at this one. I'm gonna.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Let me hear it.
I don't think Relic's the greatest game in MCBC.
Okay. You listen here, pal. You listen here. I agree.
Now listen, wait. Before we say this,
Relic.
hold on. Because listen,
Yeah.
we are on very opposing sides here. I have not played the newest version of Relic, which will be coming out in MCBC Season 21. Go check out the MCBC YouTube channel for more updates about that. But so I have not played the new Relic, so I cannot judge that one. I can only judge the one, the past one. And in my opinion, I don't think it's as good as some of the other games. Particularly, in my opinion, even though I'm not great at this game. I am not. It is not a game that I would say I'm amazing at. But I personally like Overrun more. Now, do I think New Relic can change my mind? Absolutely. Everything I've heard about it, absolutely. Mainly because I think if the lag is fixed, it'll be a lot better.
Yeah, I can tell you from the test that me and Slader have ran.
We're getting leaks here.
With New Relic, Relic 2. I'm not gonna give any details about it, but it is miles better. Me and Slater both agree it's way better than old Relic. It has a lot more strategy to it, a lot more things going on.
Yep.
And it's just a lot more fun because with like the way that Relic works, or like old Relic, Relic 1. Is it very much operates similarly to compare it to another game from like MCC. It's very similar to Grid Runners.
Yep.
In the sense of complete the rooms, except you have more options and you kind of have the point sort of thing, and then you obviously have to get out and there's the time sort of thing. But it's not much more complex than that, where Relic 2 kind of blows that out of the water. But I'd agree with you on the fact that.
I think as of right now, without Relic 2 in the question, I think I personally think Overrun is a better game.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Depending on the map.
Somewhat with that. It depends on the map. Yeah,
depending on the map for Overrun.
I think there's some good.
Yep.
Like, it's just a great concept for a game, and I think it plays really well.
Yeah, well, it's just Valorant, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it is, but it's a good game. Yeah. I would say. I guess another MCBC hot take. I think Rift Race is our worst game, and I don't see the hype around it. But.
I would disagree. I don't think Rift Race is our worst game.
What do you think is our worst game?
I think it might be Cactus, actually.
Shoot, I think
because here's the thing. I think Cactus as a game isn't bad. I think as a finale game, it's just like it's good, right? But once you get good at it, it's just like, it's really skill based. It's really skill based, right? Where I think Rift Race, yes, if you're playing on the same map over and over again, it's boring, but a bad player can still have a lot more fun with it.
That's true.
Even if they're not winning it, like they can still have fun with it and feel like they're, you know what I mean? Like they're still playing the game. Where with Rift Race, or with Cactus, if you're not good at Cactus, you're going to be out in about 8 seconds, depending on who you're going up against. Or you just won't play the game.
I suppose. I guess part of the reason that Cactus is good in my mind. I mean, it's a simple-ish enough concept to get. and it really is an intense game.
Mm-hmm.
But I think part of that is because of it being a finale game and it being the
Yeah.
stakes of it. Of
If you
like,
take it out of the being the
this
finale
is
game,
it.
it's not. It's
Yeah, and I think you could put in another thing, and you would have a
like let's
similar
compare
sort of
like
stakes
comparing it to
it.
Dodgebolt, let's say from MCC.
Yeah.
For skills, it the skill gap between being good at Cactus and good at Dodgebolt is completely different. Because
Yeah.
for Dodgeball, it's point and shoot, and if you miss, you miss.
Yeah.
If you're good at shooting, you're good at shooting. If you're not, you're not. Right? But you have unlimited amount. If you have both arrows, you have a limited amount of time to set up for that shot. Or with Cacti,
Yeah.
you don't. You there
You gotta
is
constantly
yeah
on the
there
move.
there is no break points.
Yeah.
So it's very skill based. That's why it takes
For
a lot.
sure.
Some people really like takes them a while to get good at it.
Yeah.
But once you get good at it, you're set pretty
Yeah.
much. Pretty much invincible.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you kind of talked on it with Rift Race. I just think it's pretty weak altogether.
That's fair. I think having
boring
multiple
to
maps would.
play and watch.
I think having
but-
multiple maps would help that, and
Maybe,
swapping it out.
But,
Even
I
like
mean, I
a
would also
randomly
say, like-
generating map would be kind of sick. I don't even know if we would ever do that, but it'd be cool.
Yeah. I know we've had ideas for something like that, but
Yeah.
I don't think we have anything planned.
Nothing's
at the moment
planned, so I'm
that
not.
you guys know of.
I'm not. I'm able to talk about it. So
Yeah.
worst things
that's
first,
true.
Slader gets pissed at me. I don't care.
Yeah. Anyway, so let's get on to leaks of MCBC. What?
So basically, in Gauntlet, I work on that game. Guess what? We added parkour. I know a lot of the roster members listening. That's probably a big shock to you because not a lot of you are very good. You know who I am talking to. Prime.
Jack just jumps. What?
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 Prime. He's on the staff team now, so I don't even know why I refer to him as a roster member, to be honest with you. But
Yeah.
speaking of people on the staff team, we forgot Slader. We're hitting 40 minutes. We
Oh.
forgot about him.
Dang.
Yeah.
I mean, we're in 40 minutes, like, in the recording, edited sound. Who knows where we'll be at? This might be
Yeah.
the shortest episode yet.
It might be, but
And that's okay.
but we still don't have enough time for it because we need a good hour, right? And we limit ourselves.
Yeah. That is true. Yeah. But forgot about Slater.
Yeah.
Can't say we ran out of time.
No, but we
still have
did.
time.
No, but we did though because we need a full hour.
We did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Right. And if we
Yeah.
brought him on now, we'd only get like 20 minutes, and like that. Some of
You're
that.
right.
Some of that would
because-
be the game.
Yeah, we want to have him on the whole podcast. Yeah, if we had to fit in a game and
But
the whole interview,
Actually,
this podcast would be way too long.
it would be, yeah.
think
And
you're
by,
right,
by the time we get through this explanation too,
Yeah, if we started like 5 minutes ago, we might be able to.
Yeah.
But it's too late now.
So yeah, sorry Slater, we can't bring you on. Before we end though, I do want to throw a little thing in here. And Natty, I want to explain. I think we're 8 episodes in. I think it's about time we explain the name of a podcast.
Yeah, we can. I mean, if you look at like the
If
URL,
you look at the URL, if you look at the thing, you know the
it says
acronym,
it.
but you probably are like,
Yeah.
why is it that? So
Yeah. Air to Ground Podcast.
So about
No.
so about a couple, what was it, like about a year ago now? It was a joke
Yeah.
for a while, to be honest with you. So we all work on MCBC, as a lot of people know. It's a Minecraft tournament.
Wow, we do. I didn't know that. We never talk about
Dude,
it.
shut up. And
So,
for a while,
Ignore the past 10 minutes of conversation.
for a while, we were trying to come up with a name for our staff team, right? If you know MCC, the team that works on that is called they're the Knox Crew. Their
Yeah.
team leader is Knoxite, so they came up with a name like that. That's like their team name. WMCT has we make cool things. That's like their team name. So we were like, we need a team name, right? And basically the joke started with like eventually we came up with Mucka Bucket Studios, but the joke started with Slater, and he was like there's this robot chicken gag where Rick from The Walking Dead comes up and he's like, hey, everyone's got these cool names. We need a name. And he's like, I come up with an idea, Rick and the gang, right? And that's the joke. Is that he's like, oh yeah, we're Rick and the gang, because that's what everybody called them. Like, oh yeah, Rick and the gang go to Alexandria and da-da-da-da-da. So that's where that joke started. We're like, we'll be Slader and the gang, right? And then
Slader wants that.
That's what Slader wanted us to be called, Slader and the gang. So that was the joke. We were like, yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
And we ended up not doing that. And I was like, oh, we should start a podcast. What should we call it? And I was like, well, it'd be funny. I was like, we used to be Slader and the gang, but Slader's not in this podcast, so we'll just be and the gang. So
yeah. Just and the gang. So
which
ATG.
I didn't know when I first came up with that name that there's also another ATG podcast.
Yeah.
But I was like, we already had a logo at that point. We already had a logo at that point, so we were like
too deep.
I was like, we haven't uploaded anything yet, but it's whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. There's no going back now. I mean, there was.
There definitely was, yeah.
But
because it was when we were uploading the Spotify first episode to Spotify. That's when I was like, oh, there's another ATG podcast.
Yeah, that's true.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's where our name came from.
Yeah, there you go. Buried in the episode 8. So
Yeah, you gotta get through the whole.
We'll be like, hey, you gotta watch.
Why aren't you watching the episodes, man?
They're like, why wouldn't you watch an episode? Why didn't you say that in episode 1?
Yeah, because we wanted you to get to know us in episode 1. That's why.
Yeah. You don't need to know the name. Come on.
Oh, who cares?
Yeah. So I want you guys, if you're listening and you made it this far into the podcast, first off, congratulations. You made it to the end.
Yeah.
Want to ask, what were your thoughts on this sort of style of podcast? We kind of had less of a sort of script. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you were like, it's a little bit, all over
it's
the
weird.
place,
It's
out of focus. Yeah.
You want us to go back to the list?
Yeah, or maybe like something in between. Maybe we didn't go far enough. I don't know. But yeah, we'll figure it out. But yeah, I think that's all.
I think that's everything.
Podcast.
Yeah. We will.
Sorry again to Slader.
Yeah, sorry again to Slader.
Sorry, but
yeah, we just bringing you down.
Extend the apology. Yeah. Wait, you say we would like to bring him down?
No, I didn't say that. Anyway, if you guys have any guest suggestions or any people you'd love to see come on the podcast, let us know. Any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that, leave it down in the comments below.
Especially concerns.
And if you're over on Spotify, thank you for being our Spotify listeners, because I know there's not that many of you.
Listener.
No, there's not that many of you. So shout out to you guys.
On Spotify, you're probably the one person.
Probably.
But hey. Thank you.
And if you're on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And we'll see you guys in 2 weeks for another episode of the ATG Podcast, where I have no idea what we're going to be doing. So we'll see you guys then.
We'll figure it out. All right. Bye, everyone.
Peace.
Peace.